Welcome to our channel. Today we're doing a deep dive into 100 quotes that will change your life by Library Mindset.
Oh, yeah, I love that one.
Have you read it?
Yeah, I have. It's a good one. It's like just bite-sized pieces of wisdom.
Yeah, and sometimes just one sentence can totally shift your perspective.
That's so true.
So we're going to explore some of the most thought-provoking quotes from this book
Okay.
and see what gems we can uncover together.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
All right. So I was looking through this book and I was like, wow, some of these are so powerful.
Yeah.
Like they really make you stop and think.
What's fascinating about quotes is how they can act as these little doorways into bigger ideas.
Right. It's like they give you a glimpse into someone else's wisdom
Exactly.
and hopefully spark some of our own along the way.
For sure. So shall we jump in?
Absolutely. Let's hear it.
Okay, how about this one? Some people die at 25 and aren't buried until 75. Benjamin Franklin.
That's a heavy one to start with.
Right.
And Franklin doesn't mess around, does he?
No, he doesn't.
I mean, it makes you think about all the ways we might be sleepwalking through life.
It's a powerful image, isn't it? It challenges us to ask, am I truly living, or am I just going through the motions?
Right.
Are we pursuing our passions? Are we challenging ourselves to grow? Or are we letting fear and complacency dictate our choices?
I think a lot of people struggle with that feeling of being stuck,
For sure.
of not knowing what their passions even are.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you even begin to answer those questions?
It's a journey, for sure. And it often starts with getting curious about what lights you up. What activities make you lose track of time? What topics do you find yourself geeking out about?
Yeah, it's like finding that thing that makes you feel truly alive.
Exactly.
But sometimes it's hard to hear that inner voice, especially with all the external noise telling us what we should be doing.
Absolutely. It takes conscious effort to tune out those external pressures and really listen to your own intuition.
This reminds me of another quote that stood out to me from John D. Rockefeller. If your only goal is to become rich, you'll never achieve it.
Interesting.
I mean, you'd think someone as wealthy as Rockefeller would be all about the money.
Right. But what's insightful here is the understanding that lasting fulfillment doesn't come from chasing external markers of success.
Right.
True wealth is about aligning your life with your values, finding purpose in your work, and contributing to something larger than yourself.
It's like that saying, money can't buy happiness. But it can buy you freedom and options, which can certainly make it easier to pursue things that do bring you happiness.
Right.
It's about finding that balance, right?
Exactly. And speaking of things that contribute to a fulfilling life, let's talk about habits.
Oh, yes. This is where it gets really practical. I'm
Yeah.
all about those small changes that can make a big difference over time.
Me too. And this quote by F.M. Alexander perfectly captures that. People do not decide their futures. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures.
It's so true. Our daily choices, even the seemingly insignificant ones, shape who we become.
And it's not just about big life-altering decisions. It's about those small, everyday choices that we make. Like what we eat, how we spend our time, how we react to stress.
You know what I mean?
All of those things add up over time.
Absolutely.
And before we get too deep into habits, we wanted to mention a great resource for staying motivated on your self-improvement journey.
Oh, yeah.
The Affirmify Journey YouTube channel.
Yes. They have amazing content that can help you stay focused on your goals and cultivate a positive mindset.
Absolutely.
Definitely worth checking out. So back to those habits.
Okay.
You know what's fascinating? There's a whole field of behavioral psychology dedicated to understanding how habits work.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Oh, tell me more. I'm always up for some brain candy.
Well, one key concept is the habit loop. It's a three-part process: a trigger, a routine, and a reward.
Okay, I'm following you so far.
So the trigger is what prompts the behavior.
Okay.
It could be a time of day, location, an emotion, you name it.
Gotcha.
The routine is the actual habit you perform.
Okay.
And the reward is what reinforces the behavior, making you more likely to repeat it in the future.
So I'm starting to see how this applies to my own life. Like my morning coffee routine.
Oh, yeah.
The trigger is waking up, the routine is making the coffee, and the reward is that delicious first sip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And once you understand how this loop works, you can start to hack it.
Hack it. You mean like manipulate it to create good habits?
Precisely. You can identify your triggers,
Yeah.
create new routines, and consciously choose rewards that align with your goals.
Oh, okay. My brain is officially exploding with possibilities.
So how does this tie back into the quotes from the book?
Well, there's this one from S. McNutt about self-care. Fall in love with taking care of yourself. Fall in love with becoming the best version of yourself, but with patience, with compassion and respect to your own journey.
I love that. It's like a permission slip to be kind to ourselves in the process of growth.
Exactly. And I think incorporating self-care habits is essential for anyone on a journey of self-improvement. It's not selfish. It's about replenishing your energy so you can show up as your best self.
So true. And speaking of showing up as your best self, there's this quote by Maya Corrigan, "You are what you eat and read."
Oh, yeah.
It makes you think about the importance of being mindful of what we consume, both physically and mentally.
Absolutely. Just like we nourish our bodies with healthy food, we need to nourish our minds with quality information and inspiring ideas.
And that brings us to the power of reading. Patrick Bet-David put it so succinctly. Reading an hour a day is only 4% of your day, but that 4% will put you at the top of your field within 10 years. Find the time.
It's a powerful reminder that even small investments in learning can compound over time and lead to significant results.
Okay, 1 hour a day sounds daunting, but when you frame it as just 4%, it suddenly feels much more doable.
Right. It's all about shifting our perspective and prioritizing what truly matters. And speaking of priorities, there are some fantastic quotes in this book about the company we keep.
Oh, for sure.
Oprah Winfrey's wisdom always resonates with me. Surround yourself only with people who are going to lift you higher.
Yeah, that one's a classic for a reason. It's amazing how much our environment can influence our mindset and our aspirations.
It's like that saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Oh.
If you're surrounded by negativity, it's going to drag you down. But if you surround yourself with people who are positive, supportive, and inspiring, it's going to lift you up.
So true. And sometimes that means having difficult conversations with people in our lives who might not be the best influence.
It's not always easy, but it's essential to set boundaries and protect your energy.
You know, Mike Tyson, of all people, had a great quote about that. If you're a friend of everybody, you're an enemy to yourself.
Oh, wow.
At first, I thought it sounded harsh. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized it's about being selective with who we allow into our inner circle.
It's about recognizing that we can't please everyone.
Right.
And that trying to do so will only lead to resentment and burnout. We have to be willing to say no to things and people that don't align with our values and goals.
You know, this conversation has me thinking about all the different areas of life where these quotes can apply. It's not just about self-improvement.
Yeah.
It's about relationships, work, even our relationship with ourselves.
That's what's so powerful about these little nuggets of wisdom. They can spark insights and inspire action in all areas of our lives.
We've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
And I'm curious to see what other gems we uncover as we continue our deep dive into these quotes.
Well, hold on to your hats because there are plenty more thought-provoking ideas where those came from.
We'll be back in just a moment to explore more wisdom from 100 quotes that will change your life. Don't go anywhere.
See you soon. Welcome back. I feel like my brain is already doing bicep curls from all these inspiring quotes.
You and me both are. It's amazing how these quotes can, like, stick with you, you know?
Yeah, totally. It's like having a little pocket full of wisdom to draw from whenever you need a boost.
Okay, so are you ready to dive back in and see what other nuggets we can unearth?
Let's do it. Okay, how about this one? If you can change your mind, you can change your life. William James.
Oh, that's a good one. It's all about mindset, right?
Absolutely. It speaks to the power of our thoughts and beliefs.
It's like that saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Exactly. Our beliefs shape our reality. So if we want to change our lives, we need to start by changing our minds.
So instead of saying, I'm not good at this, you might say, I'm learning and growing in this area.
Exactly. It's about reframing our thoughts to empower ourselves. Okay, now this next quote challenges us to think bigger. If people are not laughing at your goals are too small.
Oh, that's Azim Premji. It's a reminder to dream big and not let fear of judgment limit our potential.
Yeah, it's about embracing the possibility of failure.
Right.
And recognizing that even if we don't achieve everything we set out to do, we'll still land far beyond where we started if we're aiming high enough.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But what about that fear of failure? You know, it can be so paralyzing.
Fear is a natural part of the human experience. But we have a choice. We can let fear control us, or we can acknowledge it and move forward anyway.
So it's about stepping outside of that comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
Which reminds me of a quote we discussed earlier. Better to jump and make a mistake than sit there too frightened to make a move.
Yes. It's about taking action even when it's scary. The more we do that, the more our comfort zone expands.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. This next quote really made me pause and reflect. And when nobody wakes you up in the morning, and when nobody waits for you at night, and when you can do whatever you want, what do you call it, freedom or loneliness? Charles Bukowski.
Oh, wow.
It brings up the trade-offs we sometimes make in pursuit of our dreams.
It's a poignant question, isn't it? It highlights the importance of finding a balance between independence and connection.
Yeah, it's like that saying, it's lonely at the top.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be right.
Exactly. We can choose to cultivate meaningful relationships and build a support system even as we pursue our individual goals.
Speaking of pursuing our goals, this next quote is a great reminder to make the most of each day. Don't live the same year 75 times and call it a life. Robin Sharma.
It's a call to break out of routines and embrace new experiences.
It's about living with intention rather than letting life just happen to us.
Exactly. What are some things you've done recently to shake things up and step outside of your routine?
Well, I finally signed up for that pottery class I've been wanting to take for ages.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's been so much fun to learn something new and get my hands dirty.
That's fantastic. It's those little adventures that add spice to life and keep us feeling alive and engaged.
And sometimes those little adventures lead to bigger ones. It's like that saying, you never know where one yes might lead you.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for resources to help you explore new possibilities and expand your horizons, I highly recommend checking out lingopediamagazine.com.
Yes, they offer a variety of courses and ebooks on all sorts of topics. It's a great way to continue learning and growing.
Okay, now let's delve into a couple of quotes that emphasize the importance of self-reflection.
Ooh, self-reflection.
Yeah,
That's something we often neglect in our busy lives.
it's true, but it's such a valuable practice. Here's a quote that challenges us to make it a priority. You should examine yourself daily. If you find faults, you should correct them. When you find none, you should try even harder. Israel Zangwill.
Wow, that's intense. It sounds like a recipe for never feeling good enough.
I think it's more about cultivating a growth mindset
Right.
and a commitment to continuous improvement. It's recognizing that we're all works in progress and that there's always room for growth no matter how far we've come.
It's like those Japanese artisans who spend their entire lives perfecting their craft.
Mm-hmm.
They never stop learning and refining their skills.
Exactly. And it's not just about technical skills. It's about developing our character, becoming more compassionate, more resilient, more self-aware.
Yeah, it's a journey, not a destination.
Precisely. Now, this next quote offers a helpful perspective when things feel chaotic and out of control. In life, the only two things you can control are your effort and your attitude. Everything else is not up to you, S. McNutt.
It's a reminder to focus on what we can influence and let go of the rest.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between agency and surrender.
And speaking of agency, this next quote is a real call to action. If you set your goals ridiculously high and it's a failure, you will fail above everyone else's success.
Oh, I love that quote. It's James Cameron, the director of Titanic and Avatar.
It's so bold and empowering.
Yeah, it's about daring to dream big and not letting fear of failure hold us back.
It's like that saying, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars.
Exactly. Now, before we move on, I want to ask you, dear listener, what's resonating most with you from these quotes? Which ones are challenging your assumptions or inspiring you to take action? Take a moment to reflect on that, and we'll be right back with more from 100 quotes that will change your life.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. It's amazing how these quotes can spark so many different thoughts and ideas.
They really do. It's like each one is a little seed that can grow into something much bigger.
Right, and it's up to us to nurture those seeds and see what they become.
Exactly. So are you ready for some more inspiration?
Absolutely, hit me with it.
Okay, this one is all about taking action. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's powerful. It's about making those tough choices that align with our long-term goals.
Even when they're not the most fun or exciting in the moment.
It's about delaying gratification.
Exactly. It's about building those muscles of self-control. Think of it like working out at the gym.
I like that analogy.
It's not always easy.
But the results are worth the effort.
Exactly. And speaking of taking action, this next quote really resonated with me. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. Elon Musk.
Oh man, he's definitely someone who knows a thing or two about taking on big challenges.
Yeah, he doesn't let anything stop him.
It's inspiring.
It's about having a vision, believing in yourself, and being willing to put in the work even when the path ahead is uncertain.
It's like that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
Not being afraid to fail to experiment, to try new things.
Yeah, and speaking of trying new things, this next quote challenges us to get out of our heads and into action. A good plan violently executed now is better than a perfect plan next week. George S. Patton.
Ooh, I love that. It's like a permission slip to stop overthinking and just start doing.
It's about embracing that done is better than perfect mentality, because sometimes perfectionism can be our biggest enemy.
Oh, so true. It can keep us stuck in a cycle of planning and procrastinating.
Mm-hmm. But how do we actually cultivate that discipline, that ability to take action consistently?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. I think it starts with small steps, building those tiny habits that eventually become part of our daily routine.
Small steps lead to big changes.
They do. And on that note, here's a quote that speaks to the power of those small, consistent actions. Good habits formed at youth make all the difference. Aristotle.
It's never too late to start, though, right?
Absolutely. It's never too late to learn new skills, adopt new habits, transform our lives.
And sometimes it's not about making these huge, sweeping changes.
Right.
It's about those tiny tweaks, those small adjustments that over time lead to big results.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, this next one is a reminder that we have a choice in how we respond to adversity. If you want to conquer fear, don't sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. Dale Carnegie.
Oh, I love that. It's about taking action even when we're feeling afraid. Movement creates momentum.
And when we're busy pursuing our goals, we have less time to dwell on our fear.
It's like that saying, action cures fear.
Yeah.
The more we do, the less scary it becomes.
Okay. And to build on that, this next quote offers a helpful perspective shift. A problem is a chance for you to do your best, Duke Ellington.
I love that. It's about seeing challenges as opportunities.
As a chance to learn and grow.
It's about recognizing that even in difficult times, we have the power to choose our response.
We can either let challenges defeat us, or we can use them as fuel to propel us forward.
So true. And finally, let's wrap up with a quote that captures the essence of living a fulfilling life. A fit body, a calm mind, a house full of love, these things cannot be bought, they must be earned. Naval Ravikant.
Beautiful sentiment.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that true wealth isn't about material possessions. It's about cultivating a life that is rich in meaning, connection, and purpose.
It's about prioritizing our health, both physical and mental.
Right.
And nurturing loving relationships.
Yeah.
These are the things that truly matter in the end.
And they're things that we have the power to create. It's not about luck or circumstance. It's about making choices that align with our values and putting in the effort to build the life we want.
Well said. Before we go, I want to leave you with one final quote that wasn't in our discussion today, but beautifully sums up the essence of living with intention. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius.
It's a call to action. It's not about talking the talk. It's about walking the walk.
It's about living our values, making a positive impact on the world, and striving to become the best versions of ourselves.
So, dear listeners, we encourage you to take these quotes to heart. Pick one that resonates with you and let it guide your actions, your thoughts, your choices. And if you're looking for more resources to support your journey of personal growth, be sure to check out lingopediamagazine.ponex.com. They have a wealth of courses and ebooks that can help you level up your life.
And don't forget to subscribe to The Deep Dive for more explorations of fascinating books and ideas.
And please share this episode with anyone who might benefit from a little dose of inspiration. Until next time, keep seeking, keep learning, and keep diving deep.